we're back with Unforgettable Conversations, Season 4, Episode 4. We got it right this time. Believe me, it's been multiple tries. Today, we have my beautiful and lovely wife, Cass.
Hello, guys.
Today, it's just going to be both of us doing... Actually, we might do a couple episodes. Oh,
It's okay.
I'm far away from the control. But today we're going to be playing the same game that we always play. Let's get deep. So the Bromigos are going to get to know me more than ever. And they're going to get to know you because this is the first time you've ever been on the podcast.
I think it's been the first time I've been just with you. We did an episode in Danny Darko's room with Alex. He's the skipper. And yeah. I don't have a nickname. It's just Kez because there's just nothing better than just Kez.
But we'll do a quick shout out to Hear Me Out. You guys been doing great stuff over there.
Thanks. Season 2 is coming out, guys. If you haven't jumped in, like for all your male audience, we do hit on some pretty cool stuff that can be applied to both men and women. So season 2 is coming out. We just shot our last episode for that season. So we're going to have this whole studio look different. So when you guys jump into our channel, it's going to look different. Yeah,
if you guys want a quick sneak peek of the new studio, it's probably going to come out on her podcast first, called Hear Me Out, on YouTube as well. And you can actually find her podcast on Spotify now too.
Yes.
And any other platforms? I think
so far,
just those two, YouTube and Spotify. Yeah. So go check it out. And I got to say, your podcast obviously looks way better because she's the one that also does all the editing for our podcast. So the fact that she does that and she does her own podcast as well as all the editing over there and the graphics and everything is pretty awesome. And you're going to release your Instagram soon, right?
Yes. That's in the works, guys.
That's in the works. So the link will be in the description. And if the Instagram's up already and running, then we'll probably link it in there as well. So check it out. All right, let's start with our first icebreaker. You can go first.
I shall start. It says, what is the most exotic fruit you've ever tried?
Okay, so for the longest time, I hadn't tried this, and I think you introduced me to it, and it was the dragon fruit. I had never tried it until you gave it to me, and I was like, I didn't even know it was white. I didn't think it was real.
That's true. I totally forgot about it. I don't even know why I bought the dragon fruit in the first place.
I think you wanted to
I just want to try it?
Yeah, you just wanted to try it because it looked weird. Like I didn't even know it was dragon fruit because when you showed it to me, like, look, this is what I'm gonna get, and I was like, it looks like a weird pineapple because it was like purple.
Well, it was like pink actually. Pink. I think the reason why I got it was because I like the dragon fruit, or like what are those? They're the refreshers from Starbucks.
Oh, there's the dragon fruit
refresher
tea or something like that.
I've always liked the like dragon fruit bites, and I've never tried it, so I wanted to try that fruit, but it's a very different experience.
What are the dragon fruit bites? I don't think I've tried that.
Honestly, it's like frozen dragon fruit.
Oh,
I don't know if you've ever bit into it.
Was it the the popsicle thingy, like the cake pop? Is it like that shaped, like a ball? You know that Starbucks also sells...
No. The refreshers. The refreshers are the drinks, the pink drinks. You know how they have like a lemonade and an acai? Yeah. There's one that has, it's called the dragon fruit refresher. Oh. And it has pieces of dragon fruit in it. Just like there's a refresher, I think, that has like pineapple. I didn't even know they had that, and Lula was the one that introduced me to that. So it has pieces. So that's why I wanted to try it, because I was like, if it, I mean, obviously it's fully filled with sugar and stuff.
Right.
But I expected it to be like just as good. And I also thought it was kind of crazy that like a fruit contains that color of pink, and that color, like it's just on its own, the external.
The like exterior is like pink. I thought it was weird when you open it and it's white.
And the little black seeds, yeah.
So I'd say probably dragon fruit is the most exotic.
I think I would agree. I mean, I've never tried. Have you ever seen those big? I think they're called durians.
Is it the pumpkin looking ones that are like the weird?
It's like massive and it looks kind of spiky. And I've
the ones that like they're like green, but they look like cactus.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, my dad
but it's massive.
My dad gave us a bag of it.
No,
those are different.
You're thinking. Yeah, that's like guayabas, babe.
No, those are like
you're thinking chayotes then.
What are chayotes?
They're these little green vegetables that have spikes around it.
Yeah.
That's a vegetable.
That's exotic.
No, a durian, I think it's called a durian. It's literally like this big. It's green. Sometimes it can be brownish and it's kind of spiky. And when you cut it, they come up in these like seeds kind of things. And Lula told me that the smell is like really strong. Like it's not for everyone. It's an acquired taste. But I would say who's ever tried that, like that is definitely
that's probably the most
exotic.
What about for you?
I would say the dragon fruit.
Dragon fruit as
well.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Do you prefer savory or sweet?
I think savory.
What is savory? Like, is that like...
The first thing that I thought of when you said savory was the lamb chops.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, that's savory, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Where it's like a distinctive taste, but it's also like warming and mouth-watering kind of savory.
Yeah.
Where you're kind of craving it type of deal.
I mean, I don't know why, but all that I can think of for savory is like the fat around a steak, the fat around like a lamb chop. Like that to me is savory. And delicious. And I think I would prefer the fat on a steak than I would a dark chocolate, even though I really enjoy it. But
see, I'm not a big fan of dark chocolate.
Okay.
I prefer milk chocolate.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna.
She's gonna start burning me out.
Burning him out. Okay, Joel.
All the bromigos are gonna find out right now.
Is literally like when I met him.
Okay.
When I met him, he was like, I don't like sweets. I don't.
Okay, I don't like
chocolate. Okay. I don't like sweets. Blah blah blah. And
hold on. I don't like sweets. Okay, I'm not a fan of like cake. I'm not like whenever they offer me like flan or like those jellos, the like anything jello,
right?
Or gelatinas or what are the other things that they're like super sweet and they come in a cup?
He doesn't like arroz con leche. He doesn't like most things that are delicious.
In other words, a lot of sweet things. So I can easily and say it proudly, I don't like sweet things. Now there's exception.
Let's talk about Ferrero Rochers.
Okay.
For example.
Those are an addiction. That's different. It's like saying, I'm not addicted to soda, but I'm addicted to cocaine.
There you go. That's literally how he is for...
It's bad.
For Ferrero Rochers. It's crazy to me how, like, he's so different. So, like, we will buy snacks and he will literally go through it in one sitting. And it's crazy because my dad used to do that. And I'm like, he does the same thing. And for me, it's like, no, I eat once and then I enjoy it. And then I come back 3 days later, a week later, and I enjoy it. But yeah, so when he says like, I don't even like sweets, it's just like, okay, yeah, but you really enjoy those Ferrero Rochers. And some of your Starbucks drinks are super sweet, like the pumpkin spice no sé qué.
Okay, no. So the pumpkin spice
that was
cold brew,
insane.
That's if Bromigos, if you guys never tried it, it's seasonal, but pumpkin spice cold brew normally I think in the fall, that's when it comes out. Those things are amazing because they're strong but also sweet, and most of it is the sweet stuff is in the top, and you're supposed to let it mix in completely with the rest of the black coffee.
I guess.
Because after you finish all that sweet stuff, it's just dark black coffee. Iced coffee. So
that makes sense.
That's why you're supposed to let it mix. But you can either go to the whole... Yeah, that's why I always shake it, because all that like sweetness, black chocolate mixes with black chocolate. Black coffee.
I'm making him nervous, guys.
I know. You always get me nervous. Black coffee mixes with that sweetness, and it actually kind of like cancels itself out. Or balances out. So it's not too sweet, not too crazy. Dark.
Well, okay. Since we're on the topic of savory, do you think you've, like at this point in your life, you've had, like what's the most delicious meal you have enjoyed at this stage in your life, at the year of 28 years old? what dish has just been like?
There's been a lot, but I think there's been a few where I've just been like, that may be the best thing I've ever had or close to it. Mm-hmm. And it would have to be either when we went to our Europe trip or going to like one of the steakhouses that we've gone to, like Larson's. Mm-hmm. Those steaks, they're just like done, prepped beautifully. I think it was, the one that I got was a Kansas City steak at Larson's. That was amazing, that we went to on our first date. Then there was also like the lamb chops that we had in,
what was that place Athens? Named? It was, oh, sorry. I was thinking in Whitewater. Was that like
Spencer's?
I was going to say Stefan's.
No, Spencer's. That was good, but what did we order? We ordered lamb there too. We ordered lamb chops. Yeah, we ordered lamb chops there. The lamb chops in Athens, and then maybe there must have been like
lamb in Rome.
That's the place. Those 3 spots, and I guess it would have to go to and Texas de Brazil. The lamb that we had there was pretty good. So I think lamb kind of takes the cake with that, even though I don't like cake. Pretty much anything that's lamb.
Lamb, okay.
Lamb chops. That would be my go-to savory best dish.
I think I would agree with you. For me, the best lamb chops that I've had was in Spencer's so far. That little rack of lamb, that was delicious. That was and awesome. Then the best dessert I've ever had, they still haven't topped it.
They haven't.
It was at Larson's. And we had a butter cake.
Butter cake. Oh, if you guys are ever in, what is it, Woodland Hills?
It's into the Topanga Mall.
The Topanga Mall. There's a restaurant at that mall called Larson's. It's on the 2nd floor.
Yeah.
Yeah. You get an elevator. You go to the 2nd floor. It's a super nice restaurant. Be ready to spend some money, but everything's worth it. It's amazing. Like, we didn't even have drinks. Like, it was just water. Just ordered water. We ordered water, but it was amazing. Like, we didn't even care about the drinks. Like, it was all about the food. And yeah, that's where I had the steak. That's where we had our dessert. And that dessert, I could eat
honestly, but I will say this.
If you could have one last dessert before you die, it would definitely be that.
It would hands down be that. But what's crazy is that it's literally the kind of dessert that I felt like years were taken from my life. Like it's diabetes on a plate.
It's diabetes on a plate, but you're okay with sacrificing a year and a half.
It's worth it.
Your life
but just keep in mind that it does take a few weeks, months.
Yeah. Although Mastro's, they had very similar what is it, the butter cake?
It was but it wasn't at the same
It wasn't the same temperature, I guess you could say, but very, very good as well.
It was more dry. And the Larson's one was like creamy almost and flaky and like buttery and like, I don't want to use the word moist because usually moist is in a negative way. Yeah. But no, it was just like perfect. And then with the vanilla ice cream.
Oh, they literally throw ice cold vanilla ice cream on top of this warm little like cake. Technically, it is cake, right?
Says the person that doesn't like cake.
Okay, I guess I do like cake.
Okay, now I'm just curious. What is the worst thing? Like, you would never eat it. I already know from the top of my head.
Escargot.
Escargot was the worst thing you've eaten
on the
so
Carnival
far?
Cruise. Yeah, that was probably because there was nothing good about it. I wanted to try it because it's like the French they eat snails, so I wanted to try escargot. Did not taste good at all. It was weird, nasty, slimy, vinegary, salty. I threw salt on it too. So, but I thought it was gonna offset it. I think I had like 5 of them.
Is it?
And it was just kind of like.
Okay, I sorry if I speak like Spanish as well, because on our
you guys do
podcast we do Spanglish. So, is it like eating mocos?
I don't do that. But
no,
if I did,
no, I'm not saying you do it intentionally.
If I did,
but anybody who's been worshiping and praying up in the altar, and every now and then, sometimes, hey,
that's why at church they have those little boxes that are like tissues.
Sometimes you're going
and
in,
you're supposed to use them,
and there's no time.
What do you mean there's no time? They're in front of you. For those who don't know, at church, at almost every single church, there's tissue boxes.
Yes.
Everywhere. That's like a standard.
But at youth camps, when they had so many people and you're just like, and you're crying, like, I mean, you got to go through like 30
Use
people
someone's
to get
shirt.
through the front and then like...
You go for a hug and like...
Well, all that I'm saying is that, like, okay, fine, let's get adulthood out of the equation. When you were a child, at some point, there must have been some salty...
No, my mom was like, wipe your nose.
That's how I feel like.
Okay, look, how about if I could compare it to something that I've never done before, it would probably be that then.
Oh, okay. You've never. I still don't believe you're such a liar. Okay, for me, the worst thing that I've eaten in my life is caviar. I am not. I've learned it this last year.
Because you went in. We went in.
What do you mean I went in? Gordon Ramsay in the episode where he is literally like doing a whole episode on how they get the caviar. From the fish, they cut it open.
But then that was different caviar.
They kind of wash it. That was like
the golden.
And actually, no. There's one where he washes it, and then there's another one where he literally they just scoop it up, put it on his hand, and I think at most he threw a little bit of salt, maybe, and he ate it like that. That's why when we went to Spencer's,
I got one of those.
In my head was like, that's how you eat it. You put it on your hand and you scoop it up and you eat it. Oh,
we made the mistake, okay? We made the mistake. We ordered some caviar and we wanted to try it because we had never tried it before. She tried it first, and what was your description of it?
It was like having a goldfish in my mouth, and I've never had a goldfish in my mouth, but I've been close enough to goldfish.
Knowing you probably had a goldfish in your mouth. So it's very fishy, very rich in, I want to say like omega-3 vitamin, because that it's extreme. It's like getting one of those liquid fish oil balls and it just like all the oil plus, although it was cold, so
that I think like it was just liquid fish. It was liquid fish oil.
Well, they're fish eggs.
No, I know, but like I don't know why I expected it to taste different.
Sweet?
No, I expected it to be salty. And I did expect it to be relatively fishy, but not that fishy. That was fishy. And then...
Well, you ate like...
And I ate like a good like little mountain on top of my palm.
30...
Little eggs?
20 little eggs?
Probably.
Or something like that?
No, probably like 20. And because he was recording me to see my reaction, it took everything in me not to get. And then we're in a fancy restaurant. I mean, imagínate, they're like, oh, look, this couple is trying caviar for the first time, probably like tipping off their hat to us, like, hey. And I'm over here like, oh, like I can't do this. But it was also
after I stopped, you were like,
I was like, no, never.
Well, okay, so I guess, the way that they present it to you, they give you a plate, they give you all these little dressings and stuff that you're supposed to mix it with, some lemon, sour cream, chives, and that's...
Onions.
After I tried it like that, it was actually pretty good.
It was bearable.
It was very still fishy, but I think that's because people, they must enjoy that. Even for me, I was like... I think I've tried better items that are from the sea as well, that are probably like 3 times cheaper, that are still way better.
I was gonna say the same thing in a different way. Like, I think that the reason why people will come to rave about it or will be like, oh my gosh, caviar, is because of the prestige around it. Like, right. It's rare. Not everybody can have it. And so because of that, when you try it, you don't want to be that person that's like, oh, it's disgusting. Right. It's like, I don't know if you've ever heard the story of the king and his robes.
King and his robes?
There was a famous king.
From the Bible?
No. It's just like it's like a tale. Like, what? It's like a tale of this king that this designer went in and said, I'm going to make you the most amazing, robe and royal robe and they would say like he's like I am the best, you know. So the king is like, okay, you know, sure. And he's naked. Like he has only his like, you know, underwear on, and the designer's like, okay, here it is. And he's like mimicking everything, like he's putting it on. And the king doesn't see anything and knows like there's nothing in what he's wearing. But but he acts as if like, oh, okay, well, like maybe I can't see it. I don't know. So he turns and the servants are like, it's amazing. It's wonderful, like what you're wearing. And so he's like confident, like, yeah, I'm wearing the best, you know, out there. I just not going to admit to anyone I can't see it. Mm-hmm. So he goes out to the court and everyone doesn't want to be the person to say like, I can see his underwear, like he is not wearing anything. And the designer is like a con artist. He's just getting money out of this after and having done nothing. So he's literally, the king is parading around in the streets and people are like, just like, he's amazing, the king, whatever. And a little kid is like, I don't know what you guys are seeing, but does anybody see that the king is naked? And then everyone is like, oh my gosh. So we all see it. And so basically it's like, it's one of those like tales where it's supposed to teach children you don't want to be someone that just goes along with the crowd, because it's just you being kind of like dumb in a sense. You're going with the flow, but you're acting like an idiot. You're acting like you don't know.
Right.
And here's a kid who's just calling it out, you know? But yeah, all that to say.
No, okay, so with that, I would get it. But at the same time, at what point is it no longer a joke and he's actually considered an artist? Because
I mean,
you've seen like some of the like things online where it's like, this is a brand new dress from a designer that's been reputable, and it's like, or like Kanye West's thing where he came out where it's the trash bags.
Yeah. Yeah, like, I think someone came out with trash bags. You're right.
Yeah. Or was it Kanye West or someone else?
No, I think it was Balenciaga.
Okay. They came out with trash bags. It's like, okay, what?
That style.
What's stopping that from me going to the grocery store and buying some trash bags and doing the same thing?
But see, that's the thing. I think that...
Like, at what point is it considered art? And at what point is it no longer considered art?
I don't think it's about the artist. I think whoever manages to get people to buy a trash bag or a bag that looks like a trash bag, I think they're a genius. I think they've mastered. So maybe that they've mastered the system. But what I think is the problem is not so much the artist. I think it's the person that makes their good sense get out of the window and try to look at it, and this is art. I don't know if you've seen, there's a meme where someone put glasses, like they had forgotten their glasses in an art museum, and everyone was taking pictures and kind of writing notes. Like these, you know, people who love art were like, wow, what does this mean? You know, these glasses in an art museum, and they were trying to find some kind of meaning. And someone goes in and like, oh, I forgot my glasses. That's where I left them. You know? And so I think what it is, it's like, I think that's why, to me, it's like I rather admit the truth that I didn't enjoy caviar than just follow along with what everybody says, because
yeah, that's true.
Like to me, it's like just because it's expensive doesn't mean that it's good. That's true. And I think that a lot of things people just like, oh, it's Coach, it's Louis Vuitton, it's, you know, all of these things, and it's like, yeah, but like, is it actually good? Like if it's good quality and it's a good material, but if not, then why just go along with because everybody is saying it's
like all the Supreme stuff where it's like they put their logo on a crowbar and now it's a $500 crowbar.
Exactly. It's like okay, it's still the same.
Yeah. So, bro, amigos, don't go with the flow. Go against the grain.
But if you are the artist,
you mastered
the system,
you mastered the system.
Hey, make your millions.
Make your millions. Someone might call you a con artist, but I don't know. But all in all, do you? Walmart all the way. All right, let's get deep.
Let's get deep.
Go.
Okay, so it says, what is something now considered outdated that you wish would come back?
Oh, that's a good one. Outdated that you wish. MySpace.
Well, you actually used MySpace. I didn't.
because of the fact that MySpace was very customizable, like once someone entered your page, it would be like you get to know the person so much versus like someone's Facebook page or someone's Instagram page.
Why,
Instagram
though?
like does paint a good picture, but they mixed everything. So you would see like their time. So for those bromigos that don't even know what MySpace is, it's pretty much a social media network that came out even before Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. Before it was one of the first few ones, and what it was is you would sign up for MySpace, and it would be like a blank MySpace page where it was like you can customize whatever you want. So as far as like your name, your photo, your bio, certain like kind of had like the Facebook wall type of deal.
Okay.
So you would go in, and this was the cool thing about customizing it. The background for the entire page, not just for one section, the entire page could be, let's say you're a super big fan of the Lakers or the Dodgers or a specific like artist or something like that. Boom. Now, while they're scrolling down your page or going down all your comments and everything, they see the background of like, okay, so this guy's a big fan of
a Laker fan,
a Lakers, or a big fan of a certain show, or maybe a big fan of this music artist. Like it was customizable like that. Like I remember I had my favorite team, the background on it. And then also the secondary thing was they eventually added music to it. So you would enter the page. Not only would you be able to see the background, but it'd play your first song.
Oh.
And you could customize it to have more than one song. So if they're on your page going through things,
they're
listening to your playlist already.
Well, that's cool.
And then that was awesome. So imagine like Instagram. They go into your Instagram. Not only do they see your photos that you posted, but they also see
your top songs,
your top songs,
favorite quotes,
your favorite quotes, your top friends. So you had top 5 or top 12 or whatever.
And you selected it?
You selected your friends. So that's how you would know how good of a friend you were, because you'd be ranked.
Oh,
so
okay.
I'm on his top 5. I might be the 5th one, but I'm on his top 5. Yeah. So what else? There was a lot of different things. If there was a little playlist section. So if you like, oh, I've heard this song like so many times because I go out and come back into their page, you could skip to the next song.
Oh, I see.
And skip that. And you can literally see all, I think maybe like 10 or 12 songs that they have on their playlist.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of like research that you had to do though, because you'd have to like, for like the background, you'd have to go to this specific website, look it up, then find the background you want, then copy that URL or whatever and paste it over here.
Oh, I see.
And then it, boom, you refresh it. Now you have that background. Then you keep going. You find the song over here at this website.
What was your background?
I don't even remember. It must have been like maybe the Patriots, and then maybe some like something weird like I can't even remember. Like something, it was something cool, like I don't know, smoke in a black background with like ice coming out of somewhere or something. It was something weird and like
definitely from that time.
Yeah, from that time. Cool. Yeah, it would have been like, oh, what? You can get ice cubes and smoke and like a black background, and it looks like it's falling.
Okay.
Something like that. I don't know. Fire on top of it.
I never used MySpace. My friend created my account, and she had the password and everything, and I think she sent me messages on there, and I tried logging in once, and it literally like burned my dad's computer, and so he was really upset because it's just like this. The computer was old and the software was so like new and it had so much features. So I don't remember MySpace. I need to find a YouTube video. I'm pretty sure someone must have something.
I'll probably see if I can find something later on and show you.
Me.
If I could become a millionaire, I would buy MySpace from whoever owns it and try to revamp it to what it used to, its old glory, and probably modify it so it's a little bit better. I think it's still up. It's just used more for music. And more like some type of like forum where people can comment, talk about music and specific artists and whatnot.
Well, it's actually very accurate to what it was then. Like, it's your space.
Yeah. You customize it to your space. And then people would come to your space to see you and what you brought to the table.
I'm trying to think if there's anything that I would bring back. I mean, a lot of the styles from that time are coming back again, so I don't really want to say styles.
That's true. They had like 80 styles and 70 styles. And
then even some of the shows that I like from that time, they're also coming back. You know, they
like the Fresh Prince, they did a reboot.
And so all of those things, like
Wednesday,
I don't know,
that just came out.
Wednesday, you know, so maybe humor.
Even Space Jam with LeBron.
I've never seen Space Jam.
You haven't seen it?
I've never.
The first one was good.
Because it was always weird to me that it was like cartoons and then like LeBron. And then they remade that, right?
Well, because the other one was with MJ, Michael Jordan.
Oh, Michael Jordan, sorry.
And then the new one was with LeBron.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so it was like a remake.
I think, sorry guys, I would bring back humor. The humor from that time. Because, I mean, even though I think that we are like getting to a better place.
The darker humor? Like the...
I think...
Okay. Well, we call it dark humor.
Okay, I don't want to say that I'm a racist. I'm not a racist, you know, and I'm not by any means. But there was so many jokes at that time that you could say, not just about race, but about, you know, any kind of situation.
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean.
Gender, disabilities, anything, you know, and people just wouldn't take it to heart. It was just kind of like, oh, that's funny, you know. Mm-hmm. And I do think that there's a lot of comedians coming up that are trying to push the barriers of like we're done with this snowflake era. But I feel like the humor at that time, or just even in shows, like they didn't have an agenda of like we're trying to push a certain message, we're trying to push a certain, you know, ideal for the audience. It was just a show, you know. You didn't have to meet, you know, certain criteria in order for the show to be successful, you know. And so I would say that. I would say probably the humor and not be as touchy for some things.
I know, like, was it Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, like those, Eddie Murphy, like if you look at their stuff
from back
and the jokes that they would say like back in the early 2000s, it was like some people would get super offended nowadays with
even
it.
Some of the YouTubers, like one of my favorite YouTubers who's not really active anymore is Nigahiga. And like some of his like
How to Be a Gangster?
Yeah, How to Be a Gangster. Like some of his earliest stuff were like things that would not fly today. Like they just wouldn't. But like at that time, it just was like
that was the funny
all
stuff
over school. Yeah. Like everyone was talking about it, and so
even the name kind of like it was like I'm sure he did it because of a specific reason.
Yeah,
that was like a joke that he probably heard when he was in school and whatnot. So just there's a lot of stuff that I'd probably say a lot of people nowadays would get offended, but there is a lot of comedians, even older comedians, that are still doing shows that are like trying to push back to like, okay, let's all stop being snowflakes. Let's all stop getting so offended over small things.
Over little things. Yeah. Your turn.
Oh, I said MySpace. Oh, for this one, right. What is your favorite thing about the city or town that you currently live in, without saying the name of the place that you live? Although I feel like some people have a general idea.
Yeah, I think the best thing that I like about around the county, I'm gonna go with county that we live in.
County, yeah.
Is I think the weather. I definitely think it's the weather. We have the weather, and I would even say just location. I mean, we're in an area where, like, we're not necessarily in the big city per se. But we could drive to the big city if we wanted to, and then you know you could also drive to like a more countryside area if you're going more further north or south. Is that south?
No,
that way?
North.
That's north. Mm-hmm. And so I would say the weather. I think that's the first thing. And then we have the coast. I mean, that's always a good thing, you know, because of the weather.
Yeah, I think I would agree with you on that. Because a lot of people would kill to have our type of weather where they live. And, yeah, we're close to the beach. It's not too far away from us. You're right. If we wanted to go, I guess you could say more like secluded, less populated areas, we could just easily go up north. But if we wanted to do the total opposite, we could go down south, and boom, we're now in LA County, and dealing with everything down there.
But I think in general, airports, like California is so vast. Like it's so
multi seasonal kind of, because you can easily go to the desert, but you could also go to the mountains and get some snow, and you could go to the beach, and you could be in the boonies somewhere in the sticks. Like we have all season here.
Exactly.
Type of deal. So you can kind of do whatever you want without having to go to a different state.
We also have some of the like best national parks, in the country. True. I mean, we have some amazing like sites. And so I think that like for us, it's like, it's just driving to those places, you know? So I think that's pretty cool that we have that access. So yeah, I would say the weather.
Yeah, I'd probably say the weather. And like, I think the fact that our spot is in a very actively developing area. Mm-hmm. So it's becoming more of a bigger city than ever before.
Right.
And I do like that, because I don't want to go too far south to where it's like it's a big city, but I don't want to go all the way north and be like stuck in the sticks.
Right.
Even though it's not really stuck in the sticks, it's just less population. And where we're at, it's like, oh, it's slowly starting to become bigger and bigger and bigger, and more things are popping up and getting busier, and that's okay because I like it. Yeah, so I'd probably say.
I don't know what to do that. It's like you got defenses, like, but yeah, I like it.
But I like it.
Okay, the deep question. It says, what would be a good tradition for your friend group to have?
Well, we already started one, Friendsgiving.
We have Friendsgiving.
We normally, I think the first Friendsgiving we ever did, we did it at our house. The second one was last year. And we did it at my parents' house because we had more space.
You know what's something I think that we would benefit and would be nice to have? If we had like a monthly get together that was just centered around like a Bible study or like prayer or something, like where it's literally just our close family and friends. I mean, when I say family, it's because our friends are family. And like those people would get together and just to do something spiritual outside of church, and just amongst us. Like, Danny Darko, sings and plays, and I feel like when you're amongst family, it's more comfortable. And I feel like we have a lot of talent within our family and within our friend group that I always wonder, like, why don't we ever like sing, or why don't we ever like do something artsy in that sense, but also spiritual?
Right.
So that I would say for sure spiritual, but also I don't know why we don't do more outings. We're very homebody if you really think about it. Like our
outings as in like
we don't go hiking. Like we don't go like
dang, burning us out.
I mean, maybe
actually we go on Target runs, and that's kind of a hike.
I mean we just recently first went on a Target run. But I feel like, again, given our nature of like especially you boys, you guys really loved hiking and stuff. Like I feel like we could benefit from going out, and we're kind of in a place where I think we're getting older and we just enjoy talking. And I feel like sometimes I'm like, we need to get out. We need to go do something.
I think that we probably are going to get to that, but it's going to be camping. Because, my sisters are going to be like, let's go camping. Like they're up to it because of the fact that they've dealt with it in the past. Mm-hmm. And you've never done it. I know Danny's done it. I've done it. And all our friends would probably be up for it too. I think that, or like renting out a cabin or something like that, or even I heard of this thing that you could do. But this is a tradition,
like a yearly tradition, or a like, what would you want to see?
I would say something like that would be kind of cool. Like everyone knows that this day out of the summer or this day out of like whatever time of the year, we go here.
Yeah.
Like I know, like back in the day, every July for 4th of July, we would go camping.
Right.
So I would be okay with something like that, where that's our tradition. We all go camping and then camp out or rent out a cabin, but it's like something like along the line of that.
Or even that'd the snow, cool. Like something
or the snow related, or the castle.
Related. Okay, so that's the friend. That's the friend tradition.
Yeah. But we can make some songs one day. We can just have Donnie Darko play on the guitar and play on the piano, and we can make.
I need to learn. I need to keep practicing.
I'll have you on the piano, Danny on the guitar, and
then you guys are gonna see Jolita.
I'll start
finally
start
singing
lyrics. I'll make the lyrics. I'll have someone else sing.
We'll have Skipper sing.
We'll have Skipper. Maybe not Skipper. Okay, if you knew a friend was being cheated on, what would you do? Dang, that's a good way to end it.
Are they both our friends? Let's. I guess.
Oh,
I guess it
okay.
Really, I guess it really depends.
Because I was about to say, get the shotgun, get the shovel. We're going hunting.
Well, I'm always 100%. Again, obviously, I'm against cheating, but a lot of the times, I have seen it happen where you have a couple that reconnects or they come back together, and they obviously cut off ties with their relationship, what they had with a friend that actually communicated, hey, so and so is cheating on you, your husband's cheating on you, your wife's cheating on you. So I feel like it's one of those things where, regardless of the friendship, I think I would do it. I think if they responded with we don't want you back in our friendship because we don't want you to judge us that we're back together. I don't want you to think badly of me because I went back to her, back to him. That's on you. But I just don't think it's right to harbor that kind of information and having known that someone is hurting your friend. Would you be direct? Would you be
if the friend was doing
them, or
it,
just send a random text that's anonymous from a different phone and just be like, hey, so and so is cheating on you?
So if your friend's getting cheated on versus your friend doing the cheating.
Oh, well, I thought it said.
Oh, I thought that's what you were changing to. Okay, if we're going based off of that, your friend's getting cheated on, I'd probably be take a picture and be like, yo, what the heck? And it'd be evidence.
Right.
And I'd be like, okay, either she's really good friends with your cousin or she's with your cousin, right. Or something like that.
What if you didn't have evidence? How would you approach? Would you still?
If I had no evidence, how would I know then?
You saw it, and for whatever reason,
if I saw it and I didn't take a picture or something like that, I'd be like,
or you just didn't think about it.
I think I would ask first. I'd be like, hey, was this person at Target or whatever on this specific day? Because there was someone that looked exactly like her that I spotted. And if they say oh no, they were with me, and be like, oh, because I saw this girl making out with some guy.
Would you ever confront the cheater?
No, I think I would just, if it was continuous, if I was going to Target and they were at Target, I'd be I'd follow them and then be I'm gonna get some evidence. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna leave here without just evidence.
Right.
So I'd follow, and then I'd be got busted.
If my friend was cheating and I wasn't friends with her husband, particularly, let's just say, we're just not, he's not in our friend group, but she's my friend. And
so the friend's doing the cheating.
My friend's doing the cheating. I would confront her. And I think I would say, because of the kind of person that I am, I've always respected the person that you've married or you've been with. So either you tell him or I'm going to tell him. And I would put it like that. Because even though she's my friend, there's in other words, for me, it's I'm not going to be an accomplice. I'm not going to be greeting your husband and acting like there's nothing going on and be an accomplice with you.
Right.
I'd rather tell you, hey, I'm giving you an opportunity for you to tell them. But yeah, if it's the husband cheating and I don't have a relationship, but he's not in our friend group and he's cheating on my friend, yeah, I think I would try to follow them,
get some evidence,
and get some evidence. Yeah. And yeah, because in a situation like that, I think that if you don't have evidence, I think most people shouldn't believe it right away.
Right.
I think your first response shouldn't be automatically like, oh, they're probably cheating. Like, you should probably be like, no, I don't.
Give them the benefit of the doubt.
Give them the benefit of the doubt.
Unless you see something right away. It's
right. And once you have a photo, then you can't really argue with that.
Yeah. Yeah, I would probably say that too. If it was like the friend that was doing the cheating on someone else, then I'd be like, hey, dude, you got caught by me. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not going to burn you out, but I'm expecting you to do the right thing. And you're going to go deal with that right now.
Do you believe that cheaters...
Or else I'm going to rat you out.
...get what they deserve? Like, do you think they get cheated on at some point? Do you think that they, get away with it,
Yes and no. Yes, they sometimes get away with it, but sometimes they don't. And those who don't get, or those who do get away with it, they still suffer because of the fact that they're kind of getting haunted with what they did. As far as like, okay, I didn't get caught, but like,
it's eating you
who
up.
knows if something or someone has video or pictures or something, that girl comes and tries to burn me out, or that guy comes back and is trying to get back with you, and or something like that. Like, or
now you're jealous of your spouse,
or that,
and it kind of like turns on you, instead of you,
or you
them being suspicious of you now because you cheated and you got away with it. It's like every little thing that you do, it's like, what if you're doing the same? Because you never caught me, so I couldn't have caught you. Mm-hmm. I do think that they always get what they deserve. I don't think that there is any decision that we make that we don't somehow get a consequences. Maybe the consequence doesn't hit you right away.
Something that we have to atone to.
And I think that's why a lot of people say, oh no, bad people get away with it. And it's like, not really. I think that at some point
it's going to come back.
It's going to come back because the Bible says everything will come to light. And so sooner or later, like, it's going to happen.
It's going to happen. Yeah. Yeah, well, don't cheat. Bromigos, don't cheat. And you better not get caught cheating because we're going to burn you out. All right, well, that is all our questions. And let's go ahead and finish it off with the intro.
All righty.
Let's see if we can.
Let's see if I can reach it, guys.
Reach it. Oh, awesome. Catch us next time for episode 5.